Samurai. Hi, Kat. I see 2 other people in here, but I don't know who they are. It won't let me look. But hi, everyone. How are you doing? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a year, even though it's only been a couple months. Hi, bestie. How are you guys doing? How you doing? Let me finish getting set up. What have you been up to, Samurai? We chilling at work? Hell yeah. I hope work's going good. I hope work is fantastic. So I think the last time I streamed was in November. I think that sounds right. And I said I was gonna stream a bunch while I was on my Thanksgiving and Christmas break, and that just like did not happen for many reasons. This okay, guys, I'm kind of nervous to talk to you. I'm not gonna lie. It's deader than a doornail. Wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff as to why I haven't been streaming. I want to be honest with you guys, because you guys deserve that. And what I'm about to talk about, it's really hard for some people to understand, and because I was at that point at one time, and so I understand if you like click off to leave this video, this stream, but I really hope you don't. I pray that you don't, and I want you guys to be able to like listen to me and have open hearts about it. I haven't been streaming because I simply have not been happy with streaming, unfortunately. That does not mean that I don't love you guys, and I do. I know there's not a lot of you in here right now, so that's why I am recording, so I could also post this later to whoever wants to watch it. I have not been happy with streaming because I said at the beginning of 2025 that I was going to change my content, and I never did because I was too scared, because I was a pansy and I didn't want to lose followers. Even though I said in a stream last year that I didn't care if I lost followers, and I actually really don't care anymore. Little sis, we homies and we support the homies. Leave me in my corner. Shark Week started during not Shark Week. I'm sorry, Kat. But the 2 of you that are in here, Kat and Samurai, I just pray that you guys stay and listen to what I'm about to say. But like, I understand if you guys think it's stupid. My body could prepare itself. Well, that's good. So I didn't stream a lot in 2025 because I am a different person than I was at the beginning of last year, which we're all supposed to grow. And that's just simply what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to grow. But I want to tell you guys, I've been open about it on stream before, but I'm more so open about it now, about my faith. And this ties into why I haven't been streaming. So just bear with me because it's kind of a lot. And my Shark Week hit me right after, so I really did not have a fun time. And I'm glad it started on Sunday, so I spent, preach. Anyway, so I started streaming in 2024. It was like in April, and you guys, my content has been horror. a 3-stream streak. Thanks, Kat. And that's been my theme. You guys know that my first model was a succubus. And you guys saw that part of me. I think you guys could tell right away what kind of stuff I was into, but I never really talked about it. Let me just say, I was into some really, really dark things. I was in a really dark place. I did a lot of witchcraft in 2024. And I was an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for it's been 2 years. Almost 2 years. Thank you, Kat. I was in a really dark time when I first started streaming. Thank you, Samurai. A really dark time. And Hub Slasher and I were having major issues. And during that time, we were also living with 2 roommates, so like that didn't help, you know. Married couples shouldn't have roommates. But we were having like really big issues. Well, like issues like we were thinking about divorce. It was bad. He hated his job and I was into some dark things, and we were just not having a good time. Hi, Shy. How are you? Welcome in. So I just said we were living with 2 roommates. Well, one of our roommates, actually, let me back up before I even go into this. I said at the beginning of stream that I've kind of been open about my faith, and I want to tell you guys about that. I grew up in a Christian household, but I thought it was stupid. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know a lot of the people that follow me do not believe in God, and I get that. Because I did not for a really long time. And I was an addict. I had a lot of really bad things happen to me, and it was just not a good time in my life. Well, jumping back to, we have that roommate. He was also kind of like me. He grew up in a Christian household, but he kind of thought it was stupid. And something happened with him, and he started going to church again. And I saw a change in him, and I was like, there's like no way. There's no way. And I was also thinking that because I considered myself a witch. So I was like, So when Hub Slasher and I started having issues, there was one night he came home and he was complaining about the same thing. And it was just like work stuff. That's all he would talk about. That's what we would fight about, unfortunately. And there was one night he got off of work and I just couldn't take it. And our friend, our roommate, had Bible study that night. And I don't know why. I was like, hey, you're going to go with our friend to Bible study because I can't do it tonight. And he went. I don't know why I said that. I always thought Christians were just full of it, let's just say. Just full of it. Because of growing up in a Christian household, I just saw, unfortunately, a lot of people claiming they were Christian, yet they didn't act like it. And I'm sure you guys have encountered people like that say they're Christian and they sure don't act like it. I still encounter people like that today. And it sucks. But Hub Slasher got home from Bible study that night. It was, hold on, I'm trying to think of what month it was. It was September of 24 that he went. And he came back home and he had a smile on his face. And I hadn't seen a smile on his face in a really long time. And I was like, there's like no way. I'm like, I'm sure he just had fun with a bunch of guys. That's all it was. And he said that we should go to Tuesday nights, which is for college kids, like college kids ministry. And I was like, okay, sure. And I remember talking about that on stream in that time, because that's kind of when I stopped streaming a little bit, because I was like getting involved. And frankly, the only reason why I wanted to go to Tuesday nights was because I was so bored, because I didn't have a job for 2 years. That's why I had started streaming, and I was just like nonstop on my computer. So that's like the only reason why we started to go. And so that first Tuesday night that we had went, I hadn't stepped foot in a church in about 12 years. And step foot in a church, not just to go to a funeral, because then I have stepped foot in a church, but to actually hear a sermon and sing songs about God, I hadn't done that in a long time. So when we had gone that night, that first Tuesday night, I got emotional. It just out of nowhere, it happened. I had never been an emotional person like that. I never showed my emotions to anyone. I just felt weird in a good way being in that church. And so we kept going Tuesday nights, but I wasn't making any friends because I was in the mindset of, oh, these people aren't gonna like me just because of, one, I'm into really dark things, and I was told by most of the people all my life that I was going to hell because I had tattoos. So I didn't think I was gonna make any friends. Hi, Hex. Hi, bestie. And this girl approached me like 3 or 4 weeks later after going on Tuesday nights. And let me just say that this girl like changed my life. She's wonderful. And we are still really good friends today. She was like, hey, I've seen you here the last 2 weeks, and I just wanted to come and say hi. And she just wanted to get to know me. And so her and I talked, and she asked how long I had been coming to church, and I kind of told her I was raised in a Christian household, but I hadn't stepped foot in church in about like 11-ish years. And that I'm kind of still on the fence of like, I don't know if God's real. Because I'll get into that. But she was like, oh, she's like, you should come to our Bible study. And I was like, all right, sure. We'll see. She gave me her number, and I went to a Bible study with her and a bunch of these girls. And I was expecting these girls to just be talking about, oh my gosh, how perfect their life is, and just because they follow God and blah, 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 blah. I was in that mindset because I had dealt with people like that. And that was not the case at all. These girls were going through some like serious things. And unfortunately, I was taught kind of at a young age in the kids ministry that being a Christian, your life means it's perfect, and it's so not. It's not. And I'll get into that. But these girls were going through some really dark things, and so was I. And they listened to me, and I hadn't had that from any girls because I was too scared to make friends with girls because of past experiences in high school and college. And I kept going to Bible study. It was mainly to just talk to people about my feelings, but it wasn't really, in my mind, it wasn't really to talk about God. So I was hanging out with these girls, and Hub Slasher was hanging out. He was making some new friends, and it was really weird because most of these people were college kids, and I'm not college kid age anymore. I'm old. So it was really weird, but like it was refreshing in a way. So in November, Hub Slasher and I had celebrated our 3-year wedding anniversary in 2024. And we were still going to church, still going to Bible study. I felt oddly good. It was really weird. And so our friends were like, hey, you should go to this conference in Des Moines, Iowa with us. And I was like, okay, like what's in Des Moines, Iowa? And so they kind of told us that it's just a conference for all these college kids like around all of the US to go and worship, hear sermons, stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Let's go on vacation. Let's go to Des Moines, Iowa. And so we did, but I went with my Bible study group and Hub Slasher went with his Bible study group. So that was kind of like weird because we are never like apart. But it was a good weird. And we get to Des Moines, and it was so cold. It was so cold. I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever decided to do. I'm like, this is stupid. And I was still on the fence of like, I don't know if God's real, but like, I like hanging out with these people because I've just had so many bad experiences in the past. So I'm like, I think these are actually good people to hang out with. And so conference, I'll explain it real quick. It's Salt Company conference, and I had just went last week, and I'll talk about that. But it's the first night. It is pretty much worship songs, and then a sermon, and then more worship, and then Saturday is worship, sermon, more worship, and then like different like classes throughout the day that you can like take, and then you get like a couple hours to go eat dinner or whatever, and then more worship, another sermon, more worship, and then Sunday is worship, and then a sermon, more worship, and then we all go home. And so I was like, this is gonna be a really long weekend, and I don't think I'm gonna have any fun. Yeah, I ate those words real quick. Like, really, really freaking fast. We couldn't stay for the whole trip, unfortunately. But the one night, the very first night, we got to witness the conference. Last year, there was 6,000 college students. I'm not a people person, so being around that many people scared the crap out of me. Thank you, Samurai, for the 3-stream streak. Now what I'm about to like talk about with you guys. Thanks for the hydrate. I haven't even opened my poppy. My poppy. What I'm about to talk about with you guys, some of you simply will think it's a bunch of bullshit, and I get it because I was there. I get it, especially being an ex-witch. I get it, and this does not change how I feel about any of you guys. because I love you all so much. I just want to make that clear. What I worshipped that first night, it nothing like I had ever felt before. But before I say this, I want to tell you guys something, and it's kind of dark, and this is why I labeled the stream 18 plus, because what I'm about to talk about is really dark. And if you guys have really bad mental health issues, please seek help. Whether it be me to help you or a trusted friend or whoever, please get help. In high school, something really bad happened to me. Not going to talk about what happened to me, but I had a plan to end myself. And as I was doing that, I heard something in my head. You know how we all like hear our own thoughts and like we know it's like us talking because it's like our voice? It wasn't mine. It wasn't my voice. And the voice said, "Don't do it. Don't do it." That's all. That's all I heard. And I was like, oh, I'm just Delulu because I'm, now I know I was told for a reason to stop. So, back to first night of conference. I don't remember exactly what the sermon was about, but it was along the lines of God will meet you where you're at. And I was always like, he's never gonna want me because I'm too damaged. Like, what God would want me? Like, whatever God is out there, they don't want me. Because, But, yeah, it was just about God will meet you where you're at. And I'm just like, okay, sure. I mean, that's good news, I guess. And then got into some worship, and then in between like certain songs, they would ask us to like pray about like certain things. And one of the specific things was they had us close our eyes. And picture it, so in conference there's this big stage in the middle of this big arena, and then seats all around the stage, okay? And so there's like lights everywhere. And the lights were on obviously to shine on the band, and it was just purple lighting. Like, that was it, purple lighting. And they asked us to close our eyes, and they said to say to God that we are listening. You will meet us where we're at right now. And so I'm like, okay. I literally remember rolling my eyes at this because I'm like, this is stupid. I rolled my eyes, closed my eyes, and I said that in my head. This sounds crazy. Like, I get it. You guys are probably like, she's tripping. I get it. All of a sudden, I don't know. Well, I know. But I didn't see purple lights anymore. I saw a rainbow, and I was just like, what? I opened my eyes so fast because I'm like, they're playing a joke on me. This whole arena, they're trying to play a prank on all these college kids. So I opened my eyes, and it was still the purple lighting, and I'm like, what the helly? Close my eyes again. I say it again. I see a rainbow again. I open my eyes again because I'm really doubting people. I'm like, they're playing a prank on me. Still purple lighting, but then they shut off the lights. They shut off all the lights, and it's dark in this arena. And so I close my eyes again, I say it, and I see the rainbow again. And then I heard the same voice that I heard when I was in high school that told me to stop. But this time, it was, I'm with you all the time. And I was just like, no way. No way. I even tried to like debunk it, you know, because I've always been into like ghosts and stuff. And you know how they debunk stuff on shows, and I was like trying to do that. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely not drunk right now because I had been sober for a while. And then I wasn't high. I was very sober. And everyone in the room was quiet. No one was talking, not even the people on stage. I was really trying my hardest to debunk it. And I was just like, damn. God is real. I know you guys, some of you are thinking like, this is crazy stuff. I get it. I get it. Sometimes I'm just like, I still cannot believe that happened to me. I don't doubt him anymore, but sometimes I'm just like, I think it is so crazy that has happened. And just so you guys are like, oh, she's just crazy. No. Hub Slasher was an atheist. Or, correction, he felt like there was something out there, but he didn't think it was... Like, he thought, like, Greek mythology, like, stuff like that, because he's always been interested in that. And he can, like, I told him when I'm done talking about this, he can come up here and talk to you guys, because he loves you guys, too. But I pretty much say that he was an atheist. Kind of. But he was just like, there's no way God's real. Same thing happened to him. He saw the rainbow. He heard God. And I just remember when they told us to open our eyes, we both like looked at each other and he was crying. I had never seen him cry like that. Ever. Then I started to cry and I'm like, damn. So January 3rd of 25, I gave my life to Christ. I got baptized. Hub Slasher and I got baptized on Easter of 25. And it's been crazy. It's been a crazy full year of devoting to God. A lot of conviction, a lot of hardships. After I was baptized, I went through a thing called spiritual warfare. Some of you guys might know about this. If you guys don't know, it's when you devote your life to Christ, the devil will attack you. He's pissed because he knows he lost. He lost. And he will do everything in his power to try and make you doubt. And things will happen in your life that'll just be like, okay, God, what the hell? I feel like you're attacking me, but it's not God, it's Satan. And over the summer, I went through a lot of unfortunate family things. And I started to be like, oh, God's punishing me for how I acted when I was young. I was starting to get in that mindset. I stopped reading my Bible. And I started going down like this again. And I'm like, shit. I started coming out of that funk, though, in November. When Hub Slasher and I celebrated 4 years being married together. because he was also going through it with me. And just one day, I don't remember exactly what day, but just it was sometime in November. It was after our anniversary that I heard God's voice again saying, come back. And I'm like, damn, okay. So I opened my Bible, started reading the Gospels. If you guys don't know what the Gospels is, it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It tells the story of Jesus Christ. God sent him down to live the perfect life, died the death that we deserved, and beat death, was resurrected 3 days later. He defeated Satan when he was resurrected. I know that sounds crazy. Hear me out. Hear me out. So I read it, and in the Gospels, it talks about how Jesus just loves so much. And I really needed to read that. I needed to hear that. So I finally got out of that funk in November. So literally from May to November of 25, I was like not okay, and like that's why I didn't stream. And frankly, I was ashamed because I gave my life to Christ and then I went downhill. I was really upset with myself, and I had told you guys that I was going to change my content, but I didn't tell you exactly what last year. And it didn't happen because I didn't want to lose followers, because I was more concerned about what y'all thought than I just cared what you guys thought of me. Because I know most of you on here don't believe in God, and I get it. I so get it. And I literally pray for all of you guys every single day. Every day. Not all of you by name, unfortunately, because there's 567 of you. I know all of you don't watch all the time. But I pray for this community a lot. And so I was like, after I got out of my funk, Hub Slasher and I were like, we're going to conference again. We're going to do it one last time because we're 25 now and we're kind of like aging out of like the college kids, and like that's totally fine. So I'm just like, okay. So we went to conference. We went a day early with our friends. One of them was that roommate that I told you about at the beginning of my testimony. He's the one that kind of started it all with inviting us to church. And then our other friend, Ryan, our roommate's name was Michael. Michael, Ryan, and this girl that I had met in Bible study, and she's very dear to me. She's like my sister. And then Hub Slasher and I, and we traveled to Des Moines again. Went a day early, explored Des Moines, which was amazing. If you guys have not been there, please go. It's cold if you go during the winter, obviously, but it's pretty. So we went again. But we got to experience the whole conference this time. Praise God. And wow. I'm just gonna say, when you are intimate with God, when you seek Him, He calls you out. And I know that sounds really scary, but it's really good, actually. And so pretty much the same thing as the year before. Worship, sermon, worship for the first night. Saturday, worship, sermon, worship. Classes, a break, worship, sermon, worship. I feel like I'm saying these words so much, I feel like they're not actual words anymore. And then Sunday morning, worship, sermon, worship, and then we all go home. But the classes that we signed up for that I want to talk about was learning God's will, because I really struggled with that after giving my life to Him. Because I was kind of still in the mindset of my life's going to be perfect now. Even though I had went through that spiritual warfare, I'm like, my life's going to be perfect now. And that has, like, not been the case. Let me tell you, there has been many... What is that sound? The house is, like, shaking. Many answered prayers. I found a job after 2 years of not having one. I searched for 2 years. I was rejected. Even by McDonald's, I was rejected. I found a job. I work with my mom, and I love it so much. I love working with kids. We were able to move into a house. It's not ours. We are renting it, but it's our own space. I was really scared after we moved out with our roommates that we weren't able to find a place, and we did. And Hub Slasher and I have rekindled our marriage, and it's been wonderful. And I have wonderful friends here, and I have wonderful friends of you guys. You guys always check up on me. You know who you are. And I pray for everybody. The ones that I can name by heart, and then just the community in general. There are many answered prayers. But I've been really struggling this past year because I just didn't know what He had in store for me, and it kind of made me scared because before giving my life to Him, I was a control freak, and I wanted to control every situation around me. You're wonderful, Samurai. And I was just like really scared, but I was also, it ties in, I wasn't happy with streaming because I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do, and that is frankly talk about God. Because He didn't just save me, He saved you guys too. And I know that's crazy. I know I've said that so many times this stream already. It's been 45 minutes, and I know I've said that so many times. It is genuinely crazy to think about. Just being open to hear that. Like, Samurai, I don't know where you're at right now, like, spiritually, but the fact that you're here listening to me, it shows you're open. And so, I was really scared. So we took that class, Hub Slasher and I did, and I think our friend Ryan, and so this man, I don't remember his name, it's in my sermon notes, they're downstairs, whoops. Hey Hub Slasher, if you're listening, do you want to bring my sermon notes? They're up here, they're on the coffee table. But just like learning about like God's will is crazy. I think he's listening to me, actually. I think I just heard my voice from downstairs. Anyway. God's will. Oh, wait, guys, he's coming up here with my notes.
What name are you looking for?
Hold on. Say hi. They can't see you.
Hi.
Okay. Okay. Guys, he brought my notes. Okay, so like knowing God's will, it's really hard to it's hard to hear God's voice sometimes. Don't get me wrong, like He's always talking to us, but we have to be open and we have to be silent. Hold on, there was something that I wrote down that I really liked. So, Okay, so during this like little class slash sermon, he talked about church planting, and I didn't explain this, totally forgot. So at these conferences, so Salt Company is specifically for college kids, but Salt Church, the one that, you know, like church that you attend on Sundays, that's for everybody, all age ranges. And so Hub Slasher and I go to Salt Church, but Salt Company is for college kids. But anyway, so we have Salt Church, Salt Company. The goal of church planting is to get to all 400 universities in the United States. And we are at 40 of the universities right now. That's insane to me. Because this year at conference, 7,500 college students were there. And I was freaking out because I'm still claustrophobic. Being around that many people terrifies me. So he talked about church planning, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I would want to uproot my life here in Colorado to move somewhere else. I don't know if that's in the cards, and to be honest with you, money's the root of all evil. I think we all know that. But it all comes down to money, unfortunately. Moving from a state, like from Colorado to somewhere else, it's big. It is. And so I kind of put it in the back of my head. And then we did other classes. Or no. That was the first day. I'm getting my story mixed up. I'm sorry. The first day they talked about church planning, and I kind of put it in the back of my head, and I was like, no, I don't think I want to do that. We get back to our Airbnb. Hub Slasher was like, hey, would you want a church plant? I hadn't even said anything to him. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't think that's in the cards for us. And he's like, okay. He wasn't like mad about it or anything. And then the next day, okay, that's when we take the classes. My brain's all over the place. I apologize. So we took the classes, knowing God's will, and he talked about church planning again, and I'm just like, I don't, like, no. And then took a couple more, resist temptation, social media, and I can get into these if you guys, like, want to talk about them. But it was weird because when we had woken up that morning before Saturday, before going to the event center to the conference, our friends Ryan and Michael were like, would you guys be interested in church planning? Didn't even say anything to them. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, the only state I would be interested in is Alabama. They were also interested in Alabama, and I was just like, what? Okay, so then we go to the event center, we take all these classes, and then there was a meeting for church planting in Alabama in Huntsville. We are going to Alabama next month to tour the town, tour the university, look for a house, and look for jobs. Going from a person who thought God was a bunch of BS to wanting to move for him to spread the word is insane. But I still wasn't too sure about church planning. And so later that night, there was more worship. There was another sermon. And let's just say we prayed a lot Saturday night. 7,500 people. So many prayers were answered that night alone. We were hearing of people being saved. One of my friends, she said that she prayed for somebody in the prayer circle that was a non-believer, and they texted her the next day saying that she wants to come back to church. You're telling me she had that thought out of nowhere? No way. No way. Again, I know it sounds crazy. You guys might be rolling your eyes at me, and that's fine. That it's okay. 'Cause I'm still gonna pray for you without your consent. But when we were praying, we prayed for so many things, and they talked about if you're going on a church plant, or if you're even thinking about it, you talk to God right now. And I did. And I hadn't heard God's voice since like November-ish. Yeah, it was in November when I got out of my funk. And I heard him again, and he was saying, go. I am with you, go. And Hub Slasher heard it. Our friends heard it. And I talked to God a lot over the weekend. And I had never really done that before, even after giving my life to him. And let's just say I talk to him even more now, because hearing his voice is insane. I don't even know how to describe it to you guys. But I am sorry I have not communicated with you guys and have been honest with you guys. Because you guys deserve the honesty. And frankly, you guys deserve to know about God. It says in the Bible, I don't remember exactly where. I'm still a baby Christian. I'm still learning scripture, so leave me alone. But it says, it's a parable, planting the seed. And that's what church planting is about, planting the seed. And you know what an advantage I have to talk to all of you guys. And there's a streamer that I know. I haven't really talked to him, but I watch a lot of his content, and we've talked a little bit over Instagram. But his name is Deadly Dill Gaming. Check him out. He's wonderful, and he has talked about what an opportunity Twitch streamers have to talk about God. And so I want to do that as much as I can, but still obviously play the games that I want to play. But let me just make this boundary. I will not play any demonic games ever. If you guys ask for it, I will politely decline. And honestly, it's even hard to play Phasmophobia sometimes. Sometimes. I don't really feel convicted about that. It's like just really, really demonic games. So I won't play those anymore. Sometimes even Dead by Daylight, I just can't play it. But I've been playing it and having fun with it. And I'm still gonna play the games that I really like on here. And hopefully more. I'm gonna try and branch out, I promise. But I just want to say thank you guys for listening. I know that's really hard to hear. And I'm sure some of my friends right now that are watching me are like, oh, so she's a Jesus freak. Yeah, I am. And there's like nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't change our friendships, because I still love you guys. It's just I'm not the same person that I was when I first started streaming. I'm not a succubus VTuber anymore. I'm not like that. I'm not even a little goth girl anymore. I'm not that. Once I found God, literally my whole personality changed for the good. And if you guys have any like questions, if you guys like totally want to talk about it, We can either talk about it right now, or if it's like really private, please message me. I'm open to like any questions, and even if you guys are like, what the hell is wrong with you? Nothing. What's wrong with you? No. But thank you guys for listening about that. Hub Slasher, if you're still watching, I'm sure you want to come upstairs and talk to them. Because I know he wants to talk to you guys too, because he was in the same boat that some of you are in if you don't know God. So, yeah. But until he comes up here, he's probably doing something. Oh, JK, he said he'll be up in a bit. So, yeah, like, brutally honest, if you guys want to be honest with me right now, please tell me. If you guys, unfortunately, need to unfollow me, I get it. And I'm sorry. Not really. I'm not sorry. But, like I said, I understand if you guys, like, aren't ready to hear some of this stuff yet, because I wasn't ready to hear these things yet. When, like, I didn't hear, like, this stuff for, like, a long time. So, once I was finally in such a miserable spot and God met me where I was at, I was finally ready to listen. And maybe that hasn't happened to you yet, and that's okay. I feel like most of us will get there. Yeah. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask them now. Unless they really are private, then that's totally fine. But I think, I don't know when Hub Slasher will be up here, but I think I'm going to play some DBD. I took a break from gaming in general, because one of the classes that I took was, like, being faithful in social media. And, you guys know what doom scrolling is. I doom scroll way too much. Way too much. So I took a break from gaming as well, because I could sit for like 8 hours and just play a game, which is not like the best for me. If it's good for you, fantastic. Not me. So I think we're gonna try and play some Dubba. Warning though, I kind of suck because I haven't been playing, but it's been fun. But yeah, updates on DBD. If you guys didn't know, the Halloween chapter will be leaving DBD, unfortunately. So if you guys do play DBD and you guys don't have Michael Myers, go buy him right now. Or just buy the Halloween chapter so you can have Michael and Laurie. But that also means no more, what map is that? What map goes with Mickle? Lambkin? I don't know. Thank you, Nat, for sharing your story. Thank you, Samurai, for listening. Like I said, I know that stuff is, like, really hard to hear. I get if you guys think I'm crazy, because I really thought I was crazy at first. And my goal is to just help you guys as much as I can. And like I said, if you have any questions, please ask them. Like, it could be anything. And if you want to do that privately, that's fine. But yeah, so of course, Samurai, it feels like a weight off my chest, because I was really, I was just embarrassed, because I was still like, they're gonna think I'm nuts, and I just, like, I don't want to lose friends, but that means that they're just not ready to hear it, and it's okay. Thank you for sharing your story. Thanks, Gloomy Fangs. How are you? What have you been up to? I haven't talked to you in a hot minute. But yeah. Just trying to remember if I had anything else to talk about, because, like, it's been literally since November that I talked to you guys. Not me having notes, because I was genuinely like, ugh. Back to the drop kicks. Wow. Kuno, if you're in here, I'm gonna beat you up. Do you guys want to see me play DBD? Oh, guys, 2v8 is coming back next month. They need to make it permanent. Just saying. Okay, I am gonna turn off this lo-fi Christian music. It's good. I like it. It's just not the vibe anymore. You know what I mean? Hold on, it's loading, y'all. It's loading. But once Slasher comes, or Hub Slasher, once Hub Slasher comes up here, I'll go back to this screen. If the game loads. I'm still off social media, but wanted to break my silence briefly to say thank you for your vulnerability and transparency. Thank you for breaking that. I appreciate that more than you know, Fangs. I really do. And like that, it took me almost a year to really talk to you guys about it. So I'm glad that just you guys saying thank you for sharing my story, my testimony. Like no joke. That means you guys are open to things, because that's where I was. I was not okay. But yeah, that was really loud in my ear. I did not like that. But yeah, please ask me questions, because I genuinely want to talk to you guys about this. And why aren't you reading my screen? Why am I lagging?